Tonight's big story breakdown, state government shakeups. We now have an interim state superintendent. Governor Kevin Stitt appointed Lindell Fields to lead the more than 500 school districts across the state for the next 15 months.
Fox 25's Rob Hagan joins us live at the Oklahoma Department of Education with what we have learned about Fields so far. Rob?
Wendy, Adam, Governor Stitt made the announcement today at a noon press conference at an elementary school in Tulsa. Now, Lindell Fields, with more than 3 decades of experience in education, is tasked with leading Oklahoma up in the education rankings.
We're going to be the envy of the entire country, and it starts right here, right now. With that, I want to welcome Lindell Fields up here to the stage with me.
It was at the Eisenhower International Elementary School in Tulsa where Governor Stitt appointed Lindell Fields, the man who's tasked with taking the reins as the state's #1 administrator leading educators through 2027.
I'm honored to serve the people of Oklahoma in this new role, and I promise to give you everything I have.
Fields has more than 3 decades of experience in education. He's also a father of 3, including a daughter who's a 5th grader at Eisenhower International.
This work is deeply personal. As a father, I share the same hopes and worries as every parent. We all want our kids to be safe, to be known, and to be prepared for the future. That's why steadying the ship matters so much right now.
Fields started his career educating students in the study of plants in 1991 at the Dick Connor Correctional Center before being promoted to Director of Instruction. Fields started working at the Tri-County Tech Center in '99 and served as superintendent and CEO from 2009 until he retired in 2021. Then Fields founded the consulting firm Your Culture Coach in 2021, where he still serves as CEO. The company offers schools educational leadership training. Now the OSU and Southern Nazarene University grad says his goals the next 15 months are to boost reading proficiency, increase teacher recruitment, and strengthen career pathways.
Together, we will steady the ship and make sure it's pointed in the right direction for every student in our state. Thank you, friends.
Now, Fields started serving as state superintendent as soon as he was appointed today by Governor Stitt. And get this, Governor Stitt wants to put a measure on the ballot to allow governors in Oklahoma to appoint state senators instead of having them elected. Live at the Oklahoma Department of Education, Rob Hagan, Fox 25 News.
Thank you, Rob. And reaction is pouring in following the announcement Lindell Fields will be taking over as interim state superintendent. Let's take a look at some of the things that we were hearing today. House Speaker Kyle Hilbert says Fields will bring a wealth of administrative and education experience to the Department of Education. The speaker saying he is confident with the momentum the state has had with record investments in education and a focus on teacher retention and recruitment. They can continue making our education system better. Senate Pro Tem Lonnie Paxton also applauding the governor's appointment, says Fields has a proven record of leadership and believes he will serve Oklahoma students, teachers, and families with distinction. The state director of Oklahoma Career Tech, Brent Haken, also congratulating Fields on his appointment, calling him a visionary leader in career and technology education. Says the governor's decision to appoint him to take over the state superintendent role reflects the value of that experience and dedication.
And even before the governor's announcement naming Lindell Fields as interim superintendent, we've been seeing changes at the State Department of Education. One notable one, the Hall of Fame portraits have been hung back up after they were taken down early in Ryan Walters' tenure as state superintendent. Fox 25's Grant Palmer spoke with one family who is glad to see their return.
This is how the walls of the State Department of Education looked for the last 2 years, blank and barren. Now the walls are once again filled up with educators who have left their mark on Oklahoma students. The decision to remove the portraits back in early 2023 drew heavy criticism.
It was devastating, and it was insulting, especially for the remarks that were made about these being, just almost making them sound like leftist guerrillas.
The decision to take the portraits and plaques down was made by then State Superintendent Brian Walters, who told Fox 25 at the time, quote, "Bureaucrats and union leaders are not my focus. Parents and kids deserve to be highlighted. This fake uproar over photographs distracts from improving Oklahoma's education system." Drew Cole's father was a teacher on the wall and was relieved to see the portraits back up.
Having this picture back up and having that legacy and that timeline, we don't have them anymore. And a lot of the people that are up in that hallway are not with us now. And all we can do, those memories are dear and they're important to us.
I asked OSDE what the deciding factor was that made them put the portraits back up. They didn't agree to an interview, but did give me a statement saying, quote, "The Oklahoma Educator Hall of Fame pictures have been returned to their rightful spot in our first floor hallway. We appreciate our staff members who located the pictures and hung them yesterday to celebrate the great educators in our state." Reporting for Fox 25 News, I'm Grant Palmer.
Another change we are seeing from the State Department of Education is the agency's website. Just days ago, the homepage featured the Office of Religious Liberty and Patriotism and the Story of America. We'll take a look at it now. You can see the banner says "Pursuing Excellence in Oklahoma Schools." It highlights resources for educators, administrators, families, and the community. And if you click on the State Board of Education tab, you'll see Lyndall Fields is now listed as the superintendent.
Not only did the governor appoint a new state superintendent, he also appointed 2 new board members to the State Board of Education. Stitt announced today Zach Archer and Sarah Lepak will be stepping away from their roles at OSBE. To fill those vacated seats, the governor named Brian Bobeck and Wes Nofire to the board. Bobeck, no stranger to education. He has served on the Board of Education, Career and Technology Board, as well as the statewide virtual charter school. Meanwhile, Nofire served on the Cherokee Nation Tribal Council as the governor's Native American liaison. Oklahoma also has a new Secretary of Education. The governor appointed Dan Hamlin to the role after announcing Nellie Sanders would be stepping away. In a statement, Stitt said Hamlin brings a new perspective that will pay dividends as we work to stabilize the department and turn around our education system.
The governor pushing for a change in state law to make the state superintendent an appointed position instead of having Oklahomans elect someone to the position.
I urge the legislature to take this opportunity to send to the ballot an appointment authority for the next governor to be able to appoint the superintendent of education to align with that vision and to really focus on the kids, reading and math and getting our kids ready for the workforce instead of running for the next office.
The governor says he looks forward to working with the legislature this next session on this. House Speaker Kyle Hilbert, he's already on board, saying he and Representative Mike Osborne will file a resolution next legislative session asking the people of Oklahoma to consider voting for this change. The speaker says students, teachers, and families deserve a system that prioritizes results.
Now, while the governor is pushing for the power to appoint the state superintendent, let's take a look at some of his previous appointees. Ryan Walters was originally appointed as Secretary of Education in 2020 by Governor Stitt and endorsed Walters when he ran for state superintendent. Several of his other appointees have resigned or been pushed out as controversies and investigations came to light. Most recently, the director of ODOC announced his resignation. He was appointed in 2022 after previously serving as the director of OMES. Fox 25 investigated ODOC for months, including questions surrounding problematic work programs inside state prisons. Earlier this year, we saw the legislature remove Allie Friesen after it was revealed the agency was dealing with a budget shortfall and ongoing financial issues. Friesen had just been appointed as Commissioner of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services in January of last year. The governor also appointed Shelley Zumwalt as the executive director of the state's tourism department in 2022. Zumwalt announced her departure in September of last year, but before taking the position, she served as the director of the OESC. Earlier this year, it was revealed Zumwalt had reached a settlement agreement with the Oklahoma Ethics Commission after the commission determined Zumwalt violated one or more provisions under the conflicts of interest. As part of the agreement, she had to pay a civil penalty and can't hold any public office in the state or be paid by state dollars for 2 years. Prior to Zumwalt taking over the position, Jerry Winchester served as director of tourism. He was appointed in April of 2019, resigned 3 years later amid the Swadley's Foggy Bottom kitchen scandal.
State Senator Adam Pugh is running for state superintendent. He announced his candidacy today. Pugh says he's pushing for education reform to empower parents and students while raising academic standards and supporting teachers. While in office, Pugh has authored education reforms, including teacher pay raises, training programs, and advocated for policies that align education outcomes.
I think we've had a lot of headlines, and I don't want to make headlines. I just want the State Department to be a great resource for school districts. I want us to be able to recruit great men and women into the classroom, and I want every kid in the state, no matter where they live, to have a chance to do whatever God's called them to be. And so I believe in this very much.
Pugh was first elected to the Oklahoma Senate back in 2016. He's continued to serve in the Senate while running for state superintendent.
State Senator Adam Pugh isn't the only candidate running for state superintendent in the general election in 2026. We're seeing former El Reno Superintendent Craig McVeigh throwing his name into the bid, as well as former Bixby Superintendent Rob Miller, who announced his campaign back in February. Superintendent of Peggs Public Schools, Dr. John Cox, also running for the position. Records show former Tulsa Public School Board members Jeanette Marshall and Dr. Jerry Griffin are also running. That was your Big Story Breakdown. You can learn more about the new interim state superintendent on OKCFox.com.
Plus, you can head over to our YouTube where you can watch all of our previous Big Story Breakdowns. Just scan the QR code that you see there on your screen or search OKC Fox.